it sounds callous, it looks wicked, it looks kind of cold, like you don't even feel the pulse of the people. Because, for goodness sake, check all over the world. COVID-19 have already shattered people, have already destroyed economy, has already, rendered people penniless. What are the government all over the world doing? Because they are rainy days. What they do, they go to their shade. What are countries saving for? It's for a time like this. So what they do, there are a lot of bailouts, there are a lot of palliatives for citizens to cushion the effect. But Nigeria is the only country that instead of giving bailout, cushioning the effect on the citizen, you are punishing them the more. It's not as if more funds was gotten during COVID-19. A lot of people were at home, not doing anything. In fact, people are just, economy have not fully opened up 100%.
Is there a negative impact of this on society?
Of what?
Of the increase, the fuel increase, the tariff, the electricity.
The negative is too much now because, one, people will be pauperized more. People, okay, if you have 5 naira before to be able to buy electricity and pay for water, and now it increased to 10 naira. What are you going to do? Are you going to starve? Are you going to stay without? So, one, you increase it, there's inflation. So, and it will also lead, when such things happen, crime will increase. Crime will increase because definitely there's this law of nature, survival. So, crime happens most in the developing countries. Why? Because of poverty. Check it, there's a symbiotic relationship between crime and underdevelopment. The more a country develops, the less
the crime rate.
The crime. It's not as if the human beings there are better. It's because their standard of living, most of the things they could kill, they could do to those who have that nature, could do, have been taken care of, except you're really criminal.
Are you saying the impact that this would have on the society is more crime rate?
More crime rate, more inflation,
okay,
more unemployment, more anger on the streets, and people's mental health too will be affected because a lot of parents will be cracking their head on how to send their children to school because there is the impact will cascade. Because if fuel increases, those who sell some goods, the transporters who buy fuel will increase their own transport fare. Those who transport goods, who bring goods and want to meet, will also increase the prices of their food. Then what happened? Other businesses will increase. Then what happened to just income earners, the civil servants? What happened to them? So, and the funny thing is that as inflation increase, that means the more, even if you purchase less with what you have. So that is even the issue. And now it's a double jeopardy because it's harder to even get the money. Then when you get it, you buy less with it. So it creates a lot of problems.
Okay, thank you so much. Now let's go into the main topic of discussion, the civil-military relations. Now, what to a layman on the street, what is it? What does civil-military relations mean?
Okay, this military relation is just interaction of the military or security. Okay, when we say civil-military relation, yes, the focus is on the military, but also encompasses other security agencies. The interaction between the military and the civil populace, that is the civilians. In an ideal situation, the military is a regimented profession. From barrack to the war front, from war front to the barrack. So their interaction with the society is quite limited and minimal. So, and while their life is regimented, that of the society is more carefree. So anytime there's always that they tend to be clash because their lifestyle are poles apart. Sometimes the military don't understand when they see some civilian, that's why they say bloody civilian, their attitude, their carefree attitude can irritate them because they are used to more one kind of orderly life. But for a civilian, you are trying to you are encroaching on his freedom. So now the nature made it ideally made in such a way that there should be limited contact between the society and the military because they are trained to go to war, kill the enemy for the prestige and the protection of the country and the people. Now, the nature of warfare has changed. There's something that's called asymmetric conflict, asymmetric warfare. Asymmetric warfare is a warfare that is not conventional, it's not defined. Like I told you in the olden days, what happened is that you will see Kuje will have their own army, the color of their army, their territory. In fact, sometimes they even give marks to distinguish who is from Kuje. I'm just giving, yes, back in the days. Yeah. You know, and who is from Gwagwalada. So what they do, if they have any issue, land dispute or this thing, they say, okay, if they want to dialogue didn't solve it. The next thing is war. They will go and prepare. With their uniform, with their territory, they will go fight each other. Whoever captures that territory is declared the winner. When you capture a soldier from Kuje, you know, because he has uniform. But what is happening now is that within that Kuje, people within the Kuje that doesn't have uniform, that's like normal this thing, are killing, you can't distinguish them. So now they sent the soldiers within the society. And these soldiers are not used to all this kind of policing. It's police that is trained to those kind of things. So there is now a sort of frequent clashes. But we need, soldier is fighting. You are set up for the sake of the society, for the people. And the people, you need the soldiers for you to feel safe. So both of you need to work hand in hand for the synergy for the good of the country. Now, soldier or the military, you cannot, because you are fighting to protect me, now you are harming me in the process. That's what okay.
What exactly is the relationship between the civil-military relations and democracy?
Okay, the relationship is quite, especially for a country like Nigeria, it's a sensitive and touchy one because we've been under military regime. They truncated our democracy, so there is still that historical animosity, and that's why any sign of military trying to, people tend to protest. Now, the democracy still need the military to ensure that the democracy is being upheld, that some renegade, some disgruntled elements doesn't come to hijack the pro-term or coup or whatever. So they are still very, very important. And you can also see within the election where you have things that could overwhelm the police or other regular forces like this thing, the military are being stationed on standby to ensure that there's law and order. Then you also need them for like places where there's insurgency, because you need their territorial integrity for you to say there's democracy. So that, what is democracy? So that people can vote and be voted for. People can exercise their franchise. How can you exercise a franchise in a situation there is no security, there is no peace, you cannot come out and vote? It's still the military that ensure that there's security for people to exercise their franchise there. Then also there's also the role of the military contributing in electoral, like ferrying the voters' materials. Nigerian Air Force help in transporting those to areas, to different regions. Then even in the creeks, the waterways, you see Nigerian Navy using their boat to help to navigate those areas. Is
Is there an importance of civil military relations in Nigeria?
Very, very important, because in fact we are very rudimentary.
What are the importance?
The importance is that one, like I told you, it creates a healthy society. It creates a civilized society. It creates a healthy military. Like, I was on another platform the other time. I asked, how do you imagine you see a US soldier or British soldier beating a US civilian or British civilian? It sounds almost impossible or awkward. It's not that it's not possible, but it doesn't happen. Then in turn, because that doesn't happen, they hold us in very high esteem, because they don't molest their people, they don't beat their people, put them in gutter, do all those manner of human rights violation. In return, they hold the military in very high esteem. They see them as their heroes. Yes, that's what we are supposed to have here, and that's what. It's not as if we don't, but we are still a
connected
yes,
relationship.
Relationship of mutual respect.
Okay.
So mutual respect, but it has come a situation whereby, like I told you, due to asymmetric nature of conflict, there's encroachment of territories. The military that used to be in a regimented setup are no longer in that setup. They're increasingly be in the civil space that used to be. So there will be frequent clash. So they need to recalibrate their rule of engagement, a lot of retraining on issue of human rights, value orientation, on how to, because military, to be fair to them, they are not trained to do a police war. They are trained to kill, to shoot. They are not, this fellow will say, I not be gentleman at all. That's what the military is. But the modern warfare is retraining them not to be just like that, to be soft but firm, to be more diplomatic and articulate. It's not everything you solve by guns and bullets. In fact, it doesn't solve much these days. In fact, the more you kill, the more you even create more problem, because it's the war of heart and mind. Now, if you can't win these wars these days, hardly you win it by bullet and gun, and that's why even the military realize it, and that's why there's a lot of soft approach within the heart and mind, and you see a lot of civil military relation activities in various areas. Like
has that always been a challenge to the Nigerian military, having to deal with the civilians?
Yes.
Actually, well, you just rightly said they are not trained in the other way. Rather, they are trained to protect or to fight. To fight war, insurgencies, and all of that. Now, is there a bit of challenge somewhere in the Nigerian military?
A big challenge. Let me say, for example, for the commission officers, it may not be too big, but we've seen some of them misbehaving, but at least to those, due to their level of training, exposure, enlightenment, those kind of allegations are not much, but mostly at the lower cadre, the rank and file, the non-commissioned personnel. So we have this issue because of their level of exposure. They are mostly trained like that so that they can have the mind to actually fight when the fight comes. So it's a big challenge, So even counter-insurgency convention training, and this is a big challenge because before 2010, and that's why I still commend those set of service chiefs and this thing that started this journey. Nigeria was a conventional force. We are not used to terrorism, we are not used to insurgency, and Nigeria was a very good, commendable conventional force. In fact, Nigerian armed forces have not lost any war conventionally, whether within or outside this country. But this is entirely new. asymmetric warfare.